All right, this video, I have a warning. There is a really good chance you're going to react. And I really want to invite you to allow yourself to breathe through this, to expand out and make some space and listen, to actually hear what I'm saying, as opposed to jumping to your reactions from the space of what you've experienced in your life. So I love that we have a culture now where people who have been sexually assaulted or molested or raped are more automatically believed. Maybe it's not perfect, but it has definitely shifted dramatically, and we needed that. But there's a huge danger that sits in this, and a danger for men and a danger for women, and that is when you have not healed your trauma. Let's say something happened in your childhood and you haven't healed that, then everything that happens has, unfortunately, that filter and that overlay, and you're going to see things from the perspective of being abused. And so a harmless comment that was not intended to have any sexual overtone might feel like it has a sexual overtone. And so in your experience, there has been a sexual harassment because it feels like that in your body. And yes, it feels like that in your body, but we also need to realize that, was that what the person intended? Was that at all where they were coming from? And if your overlay of trauma doesn't match what actually happened, then we can end up with accusations that are false. We can end up with accusations that ruin people's careers, that ruin their lives, that end up accusing them in the court of public opinion. And that's a danger, because then we end up with more separation between the sexes, more separation between men and women, men being angry because they're scared, and not reaching out to women, wanting to cut women out of the situation. In corporate world, we have situations where men are not going to want to mentor any women because it's a complete danger to their career. And this is the thing that, we've been trying to get men to mentor women, to bring them up the corporate ladder, to have an equal, C-suite or a half and half C-suite. So, but that's not going to happen if men are afraid to mentor women because they're afraid of being accused. And we're going to have more clashing out in the world where, the women are afraid of men and men are afraid of women, and it's more conflict. This is the inherent danger that's going on right now because people have not healed. And they're coming from that perspective and seeing things with that overlay. And I don't know whether people are rightly accusing or wrongly accusing, because I was not there. Let me say that. I don't know. But I see a huge danger in not healing what is going on, because people have the ability now to make an accusation and be believed automatically, and to just damage the person's career long before it has been tried in a court. So I know this is going to trigger. I know you're going to hate me. You're going to want to lash out at me. And so go ahead, say what you need to say. But I want you to think about it. If you've been traumatized, maybe some of your reaction is from that overlay. And maybe it's time for you to heal instead of constantly lashing out and hurting yourself. Most importantly, because when you lash out, you hurt. Now, this is a big mission for me. And, for those of you who are ready to actually heal, I have an amazing project that I'm working on. It's called the Trauma Release Project, for people who've been through sexual trauma or other trauma, or even just the micro traumas that go on that get stuck in your body. And if you find that you don't click really well with other people, if you find that you're on the defensive a lot, you feel offended often, maybe it's time to look at this and try out the 30 days. Give it a test run. What have you got to lose? Give it a test run. See if it starts to unlock some things in your body, so that maybe we can interact with each other in a way that is loving and compassionate, and not from a place of how hurt you've been. I really want to see the world heal and for us to come together. I know it's maybe a big mission, and maybe I'm smoking a lot of ganja to think that that's actually possible, but one person at a time. Thank you.